everyone, welcome back to Art a la Carte, and in this video is part 2 of probably a 3-part series on drawing some different kinds of cats and giving them a good personality. So if you didn't watch the first video where I drew and designed this cat character, I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. I really recommend you going over there, checking that out. And so we're going to jump over and take a look at this cat over here. I get a lot of requests from you guys to draw warrior cats from the Warrior Cats series, but I've never read the books. I read the first one like years and years and years ago, and I don't remember hardly anything about it. So I decided that instead of trying to figure out different cats and designing them based on the book characters and then utterly messing up on something because they're extremely detailed, I would just show you how to draw and design cats, and then you can add the characteristics and colorings that you want for each individual cat. So the first one we did over here was more of a realistic kind of older cat with some battle scar war stuff. And this one here, I'm going to do a little bit of a different style with. So this cat here, I want to have it a little bit more cartoony, to have kind of more of an animated look to it, and be a bit of a younger cat. So I'm going to, again, go back with my color pencil as I'm going to begin to just define in the lines that I wanted. Now, if you want to know how I got in these sketches or some tips on that, again, that is video 1 that you're going to want to watch. And I'll go over that with a little bit of some guidelines for that and some good resources for you. But now that I've got my shape here, I'm going to add in a little bit more cartoony look, which I'm going to give it bigger ears. Like this, and I'm going to give her a bigger forehead. So this forehead down here is going to kind of come in, and then down here for her little face right there. And because I want to make her kind of cartoony, I'm going to draw her eyes in a little bit larger than obviously a normal cat. So I'm kind of doing these like a bottom lid line and then just kind of like a U, upside down U shape for the upper part of the eyes. And I'm going to give her some big irises, but I really want to see the whites in her eyes. I'm going to give her a nice shine and then the pupils. And just really work on it being very animated. And then to give her another little animated feature, I'm going to give her some eyebrows here. And I'm going to give her a little bit of a worried expression. So I'm going to give them kind of drawn up in the center, like she's a little nervous about something. I'm going to kind of clean up my line so I can see where I'm going. I'm going to give her a little bit of a kind of that rounded triangle nose. And then instead of giving her a regular cat mouth, I'm just going to kind of put in this kind of mouth like this. So we get the kind of the upper muzzle part, and then this is the opening of the mouth, and here's the bottom lip. Kind of opened her mouth there a little bit. Now I want to give her a little bit of design to her fur here. So I'm going to come out here for a little tuft there, come off with another one, and then maybe just a third one kind of coming towards us. But not super, you know, natural looking. I'm not worried about that because she's cartoony. Now you're not going to see the inside fold of her ears because I want her ears back a little bit. Whereas with this cat here, you saw this fold coming down. That means her ears are pointed towards you. But if her ears are back, then all you'll see is this part here. And maybe just a little bit of top for kind of giving her a little bit of a hairdo there. Or him. Could be him too. Okay, and because she's scared, as I bring in this backbone here, I'm going to raise her fur up, and I'm just going to bring in these kind of little kind of jagged lines here, and not, you know, all the same size and length and going in the same direction. Give a little bit of variance to it. But generally, in an upward, kind of fluffed out area is going to kind of make her look a little nervous. And then going into her tail, I'm going to give her a bushed out tail, like she's a little bit nervous. She's puffing herself up to make herself look as big and as frightening as possible. Maybe she's facing a rogue dog or something, having tried to scare it away, or maybe an enemy cat clan. Okay, so here is her body here, and she's going to be a little bit more of a skinny cat. And so I want to begin to put her legs in here. So her hips are right here. And so I'm going to bring the front leg, I'm just going to kind of draw them in so I know where I want them to be, and then I can kind of flesh them out a little bit. And that's why you want to draw really lightly, because it's much easier to go back in here and move lines around however you want them to be. Now to give her an added little look of kind of cartoony, instead of giving her these tiny little delicate paws, I'm going to bring her paws out a little bit bigger, and this is going to give her a little bit of a cartoon design, kind of a little style to her. Put a little bit of tufted fur on her under chest there, and maybe a little bit going back under her belly. And then just put out her toes there. And then we have this one last leg. You don't really see too much of it because it's really behind her. And there we go. So we have kind of our little cat design. I'm going to give her some whiskers here. So just like with the last one, I'm going to take in my ink pen. I'm going to ink her in and then add in some color. Okay, so a couple little pointers on inking her in. On the top lid, I added a little bit of a thicker line weight, and that's going to give the indication of maybe like an eyelash or an eyelid without actually having to draw the actual eyelashes in. And again, just making sure that I'm putting in the kind of these jagged lines for the fur, and that they're different. So see, I'll have a couple short ones here, and then a long one, and then a really long one, and then a couple around there. Anywhere it bends, you're going to add more jagged lines. And like I did with the first one, you're going to want to start with your lightest tones first, and then begin to slowly build in your other colors. Keep in mind, if there's something you want to be white on the cat, make sure you leave that white at the very beginning, because it's really hard to add even white color pencil over top of this and make it look like you've blended it in. And if you want to add in some shadows, that's where you can begin to scrub in the color a little bit darker. And kind of push things back, and adding a little bit of shadow behind things helps to pop things forward. Adds a little bit more depth to your drawing. After you get your base color in, you can go back in and begin to add in your darker tones. Looking at photographs of different cat breeds are going to give you a really good idea of some different kinds of coloring coat patterns. So I really recommend to look at some photographs and change that up. Don't just make, an orange cat or a brown cat or a black cat or a white cat. Think about the different types of colored cats. You can even go with a really challenging, like a calico cat would be really, really fun. But whatever color you choose to make your cat, I would love to see it. So make sure to tag me in your Instagram photos or post a picture on my Facebook page, or you can always send me a picture to my P.O. box. I'll leave a link to those in the description box below. Also, if you would like to see this cat drawing in what I talked about here, I'll have a link to that video below, and as well as a link to this video for this cat when I get it posted. So as soon as that's posted, boom, I will have a link to that as well. So have fun with that, and until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye!